Hello, everyone. Jason here. Um, the copyright laws. First of all, one of the things that surprised me was, especially with on the web, how loose or confusing, I guess, the copyright laws would be. I mean, I feel like even the people that write them, to some extent, have no freaking clue as to what should be or what shouldn't be copyright. I mean, obviously, there's a few like blatant cases, but then there's a lot of like gray area in the middle. I was also kind of surprised at the whole like I could record a I can record a broadcast at home and take it to school, but I have to show it in the first like 10 days, and then I can't use it after 45 days. It can't be retained anymore for educational purposes. I don't know. It's just very picky about what they wanted. I thought, which I mean, whatever. At least I know it now, but it did kind of surprise me. Another thing that I learned was the deep site. I would have had no clue that going to, I don't know, mathforus.com or some made up website here, but if I went to mathforus.com and I click on, second grade math, and then I click on some other site, I don't know, learning basic angles, and I copy its URL or its domain and post it, even though it's taking them to their website, and still I had no clue that if I skipped their main page where some of their advertisements and stuff may be on, even though I sent it to them where all the information would be and everybody would know it's that website, because I skipped the homepage essentially with some of their advertising, that could be copyright. That was kind of an interesting one to me. Um, have I ever had teachers that have broken the copyright laws or fair use policies? Oh, I'm sure I have. I mean, I had one that, if I read correctly, we were only allowed one chapter from a book, if I remember correctly. And I did have a teacher send me two chapters out of a book, or sent everyone two chapters out of a book one time. And honestly, it wasn't a really big book. I would say it was, if I remember right, give or take maybe 120 pages. And I bet the first two chapters were 20, 30 pages of it. So probably over the 10 or 20% mark. Not by a lot, but definitely they were over it. So I would say that case, yeah, that would probably be a pretty big deal because that was a book that a lot of people would be buying. Um, some other cases that I think where they copyright are probably not near as big of a deal, especially if it's something where nobody was going to make any money off it anyway. I mean, I think you should still be careful over it, but if it was something that nobody that was free for everyone and nobody's trying to make any money off of, probably not near as big of a deal as long as you give credit to the author or whoever came up with it. Let's see, how did I score on the fair use quiz or whatever? I got about a 70 on it. The surprising one to me was probably at the end, where the last question where it asked about the state of California. Some school uses illegally used some software or whatever, and the person suing tried to take the state to tried to also go after the state of California because it was a state institution, and they lost, saying basically they said that the state's not responsible for the state school, which I think is kind of ironic. Maybe a different subject later, but it's funny how a teacher could be, if a teacher uses that software, the school is responsible. But if the school uses that software, the state's not responsible. Funny how the people that make the laws get to specifically like give themselves a huge advantage. I think it should be probably more one way or the other. But like I say, there was a few on there that kind of caught me off guard, but that was probably the biggest one, just the way that in California that had worked not too long ago. I mean, most of the other stuff I thought on there was pretty common, stuff. So other than that, I learned a little bit about copyright, and mostly what I learned is that it's really confusing. So watch out and be careful. Main thing is just try to ask permission if you can before you use something.